Alright guys, welcome back to another Opera Omnia video where we're going to be talking about the next upcoming character dropping to Global DFFOO, which is going to be none other than Jegran. Now, he's going to be released with the upcoming Act 3, Chapter 5, Part 1 story event, which I do not have an exact date of when that's going to be coming out. The community live stream, as I'm recording this video, is going to be coming up very soon, so we will have our dates to all of the events in January, so definitely stay tuned for that. I'm probably gonna do a live stream on that if I am not busy, because I do have in-laws coming over for Christmas. So but yeah, so in this video though, we're gonna be talking about Jegran. We're gonna be going over his skills briefly just to give you guys a better understanding of like how his kit works, because like there is a bit there is a way to play Jegran to get the most out of him whenever you are taking him into Luffy plus fights. So I want to make sure and go over each of his skills and just point out some of the important things about him. And then in the should you pull portion, I will be giving my final thoughts and opinions on him and whether or not he's actually worth picking up now or waiting for a future banner. So with that being said, though, guys, if you guys do enjoy the video, consider liking the video and subscribing for future Opera Omnia content, as we are extremely close to 4,000 subscribers. So hopefully we are able to meet that goal of mine before the end of this year, and your support would be greatly appreciated. Let's go ahead and jump into it, guys. Let's talk about his skills and whether or not he is worth pulling for in his upcoming banner. All right, so we're going to start off with Jegran's skill 1. And, you know, we're going to briefly talk about it. I'm not going to go too in depth with his skills, seeing as how a lot of his skills do have, well, it does have a big similarity. And that's the fact that they are able to inflict at least one stack of the crystallization special effect that is on the enemies. Now, the crystallization is going to look like an icon like this. Let me see if I can zoom in real quick for you guys so you can see it, but it's gonna have that icon appearing on the enemy. Now this crystallization, I guess you could say, you can call it a default because it does have a 30% defense down, but we're gonna call it a special effect. So this crystallization has a max stacks of 3, and then with this, once it reaches 3 stacks at 3, it triggers the Crystal Fist follow-up attack at the start of Jegran's turn. And then it removes the stacks whenever the Crystal Fist is triggered. So it'll go back down to basically nothing, and you have to start over all the way from 0 up to 3 to trigger the follow-up attack. But his skill 1 though, his skill 1, it is a single target attack, and it does inflict the 1 stack of the crystallization to the target that you aim it as. So if you attack that specific target, and if there are multiple enemies on the field, then those enemies will not get afflicted with the special effect. Now the Crystal Fist follow-up attack, it is a AoE melee brave plus an AoE HP attack, and it does deal split HP damage to all targets. You do get an increase in brave by 20% of the HP damage dealt. Now if you do have his LD ability, you do have an 80% chance to deal capped brave damage per hit. So that means you have an 80% chance to deal that rainbow numbers that you have probably seen with, let's say, Setzer and Core, right? So, you know, it's not always going to be a guarantee that you have it, but I mean, you still have a relatively high chance of dealing the rainbow number damage. If by chance you don't, the good thing about his follow-up attack is that it does ignore defense to targets whenever the crystallization is at 3 stacks. So you already know that you're going to be doing some pretty good brave damage onto said target or said targets, I guess, depending on the amounts of the stacks in the special effect. Now the other good thing, and to basically prevent any of your stacks to go down or to just disappear, his BT effect. So his BT effect, while you have it active, makes it so that whenever he does the follow-up attack, the stacks, or just in general, the special effect of it does not go away at all. So, which the BT effect, or his BT weapon we'll get into here in just a bit, But that is a really good thing because you already know that whenever you use any of his abilities, he will follow up with that Crystal Fist follow-up attack. So that's pretty good in my opinion. So with that, we'll go into his skill 2. Now his skill 2 is an AoE attack. It's a 3-hit melee brave plus an AoE HP attack, and it does deal split HP damage to all targets. Now this one, it does inflict 1 stack of the crystallization debuff, the special effect to all targets, and it does grant him a buff called the High Commander's Arts. Now with this, you do get a small attack up and a small max brave up, 30% to be exact, and also it does change his brave attack and HP attack to their plus versions. Now whenever you max him out completely in terms of like crystal level, regular level, etc., at crystal level 60, his attack actually gets an increase in brave hits by 3, so it'll really be a 6-hit AoE melee brave plus an HP attack, and it still does the same thing by inflicting 1 stack of the crystallization special effect to all targets. Now with his EX ability, it is a 5-hit AoE melee brave plus a single target HP attack, but it does deal a 2 HP attacks onto set enemy. Now it does deal 50% splash damage, so you don't have to worry about only focusing on 1 target. At least you're doing some type of damage to other targets. But with this one, with his EX ability, excuse me, his EX ability actually inflicts 2 stacks of the crystallization special effect, so you'll be able to get to that 3 stacks a little bit faster as well. And it also grants him another buff called Power to Create a New Principle, which lasts for 6 turns. Now this buff right here gives him another addition to his attack stats up, so it'll be a 50% attack up, a 20% stolen max brave overflow up, and he does in a way get a bit of an Iroha effect. Let me zoom in real quick so you guys can see. So it prevents brave from dropping under 10% of his own max brave, so at least you're not going to be starting out at 0 brave damage. Whenever you are attacking the enemy, you have a little bit of brave to start off with. But of course, if you combine Jegran with like a good support character that is able to battery him, which we'll get into in the Shujipur portion, then it'll help him out in making sure that he will be able to hopefully cap up in damage. Now his EX, whenever you fully max it out and whatnot, it does make his brave attack and HP attack go into their plus versions. Now his LD ability, excuse me, it's a 4 hits melee brave plus an HP attack dealt 3 times, and it does ignore defense. It does deal 50% splash damage. Now when it comes to the special effect, the special effect makes it so that whatever target he is focusing on, they will get inflicted with 3 stacks of the crystallization special effects. You already know that you're going to be getting that follow-up attack afterwards, but to other targets, they will get inflicted with at least 1 stack of the crystallization special effect, which is pretty good. He also gets another buff called the Desire for the Kingdom's Prosperity, which lasts for 12 turns. Now this right here gives him a 20% stolen max brave overflow up, a 20% brave damage up, a 20% HP damage up, so at least you have like kind of like the basic of basic in terms of increases in brave damage and the HP damage up. Now whenever he is attacking the target or any target that has 3 stacks of the crystallization special effect, he does get an increase in brave damage and HP damage up. So in total, if you are attacking somebody with 3 stacks, you're getting a 50% brave damage up and a 40% HP damage up, which is really solid. It's going to help him out in making sure that you'll be able to hopefully cap up in damage, depending on, of course, like if you have his high armor, the arts that you slap onto him, etc., etc. So that's really good, especially because with Jegran, like he doesn't have too many HP attacks in his kit. So that right there is gonna be helping him out, especially when you have his BT effect active, because As you know, with that BT effect active, the stacks does not drop at all. It does not go away. So you are consistently, as long as you have that BT effect up, having that 50% brave damage up and a 40% HP damage up, which is really, really good. Now, whenever you use his follow-up attack, the chances, which I mentioned earlier, you have an 80% chance of dealing the rainbow brave damage that you have probably seen before. Now, finally, his BT attack, which is a 15 hit AoE melee brave plus an AoE HP attack, and it does deal splits HP damage to all targets. He does get a brave damage cap up and a max brave cap up whenever you are dealing his attack, and it does inflict 3 stacks of the special effect to all targets. Now, it does grant him the BT effect that lasts for 6 turns, and while the BT effect is active, like I mentioned not too long ago, the stacks for the that is inflicted onto the enemies, it will stay at 3. Once you get it to 3, of course, and then it will not go away. So you're gonna get that consistent follow-up attacks with Jegran. Now, if you do decide to, if you're considering BT plusing him, or even if you throw a book at him, his attack becomes a 10-hit AoE melee brave plus a group HP attack dealt 2 times. So you'll be dealing almost a mil in damage with Jegran's BT attack. His BT effect, though, for those who are wondering, makes it so that whenever you are attacking a target with 3 stacks of the crystallization special effect, you will always be capping in the brave damage. So that means you're always going to be doing the rainbow numbers onto the enemy. So best believe you're going to be capping out on the amount of HP damage that Jegran is going to be able to do. Now, for the party receives a 50% attack up, a 30% stolen max brave overflow up, and a 20% brave damage cap up. And if you decide to 2 out of 3 his BT weapon, or just fully realize his BT weapon, you do get an additional 30% attack up, so that's an 80% attack up, and an additional 30% party brave damage cap up, or the party will be able to deal up to 14,998 in brave damage. Now, normally I forget to talk about this in all of my in-depth videos, so I apologize ahead of time, especially for the next coming in-depth video, because most likely I'm going to forget. But if you wanted to pick up Jegran, and if you're going to fully build him, it's definitely recommended that you go ahead and fully realize his high armor, because it does give him an increase in brave damage cap up by 45%, or he can deal up to 14,498 and a 25% max brave cap up, or he will do up to 124,998 in HP damage. So now we get to the point in the video where you guys decide whether or not it is actually worth pulling for Jegran's entire kit, with the upcoming banners featuring Jegran in his own banner and Kuja in his own banner. Now, I'm going to keep this short because I feel like I've pretty much covered a good amount of stuff, but there is a few things that I do want to add on as well, because with Jegran, though, even though he is a very selfish DPS character, I do feel like he does need some help in terms of battery, in terms of maybe trying to gain any type of brave in between his attacks. And what I mean by that, I mean like combining him with, like, say, Katsif, whether you use him as a call ability or if you actually put him together in the same team. Having him or just having any type of support with Jegran will definitely help him out in terms of his damage. Now, when it comes to his damage, though, I kind of feel like you do have to be a bit consistent with his BT effect, especially if you do plan to BT plus him, because you want to make sure that you have it active, so that way you can have that consistent amount of follow-up attacks onto the enemies. Because like I mentioned earlier in the video, having the ability to not lose those stacks of that special effect means that he will be able to do those follow-up attacks constantly, which is a good thing because that is more damage that he's going to be dishing out. But I do feel like he does need a little bit of help in terms of support because of the fact that he's not really providing himself with a huge amount of stuff. It's not like he doesn't need a lot, but just that extra little bit of support, whether it be from like say a utility character that has party auras or just a straight up support character, would definitely help him out. Because I mean, he does have from his LD buff the increase of the brave damage up and the HP damage up whenever the enemy has 3 stacks of the special effect. But if you don't have it, then that pretty much gets cut in half, and that's when the your support characters will step in and be able to help him out. So like, take example, like if you want to you know, go with some examples of good support characters, you can go with like say Lena, you can go with Selfie, Porm if you still have him, use Tola if you did BT plus her, and there's a few other characters that you could probably pair up with Jegran, especially those that do battery. That's really going to help you out a very good amount. And of course, call abilities definitely help him out with him as well. So if you're needing a very selfish DPS character that, you know, that does provide a little bit of stuff with his BT effect, Jegran, in my opinion, as much as people hate on him for some odd reason, I don't really consider him to be a bad character. And especially when he gets his C90 later on, in about like what, roughly like 5-6 months or so, whatever it is, like he becomes a beast. And when I mean beast, I mean like he gets so many more HP dumps in his kit that it just makes him monstrous. So if you decide to pick him up now, then you already set in stone for when he gets his C90 and his rework, because like I said, like he really becomes a much better DPS character. I mean, he still is a very selfish DPS character, which there is nothing wrong with that, but overall, like if you are wanting to get that strong damage for the future and for some of the upcoming Lufenia Plus fights that are coming up, then Jegran's not a bad pickup in my opinion. But of course, I know that there are many players waiting for other BT Plus characters, and C90 era is right around the corner for Global, with the global anniversary that's coming up in February. So I don't blame players one bit for holding off on pulling on a lot of characters here in the next coming month. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. If you're planning to pull for Jegran, or if you're going to be pulling at all for him, yeah, just like in general, do let me know down in the comments section below. Other than that though, guys, if you guys did enjoy the video, consider liking the video and subscribing for future Opera Omnia content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.